laying down on your back with your head facing the front of the room. And just start by taking a deep breath in, cleansing breath in through the nose, and then exhaling and sighing out through the mouth. And again, gently through the nose. Exhale, release. And just let the breath flow naturally, letting go of any control of the inhale or exhale. And just come into awareness of the space beneath you, the support that you have here. Beginning to draw your awareness into this space and away from the outside world, letting go of whatever happened earlier in the day, whatever is to come, and just drawing your attention into this space, to the mat beneath you, and into the body. Just noticing anywhere that you're feeling any sensation, just coming into awareness without judgment. Today's practice, we are continuing our cultivation of gratitude. And this week, focusing on our connections and finding compassion for ourselves and for others. So maybe taking a moment here just to reflect on some connections in your life. This could be relationships with loved ones, your relationship with nature, or even your relationship to the self. Gratitude often begins with connection. So just reflecting on the connections in your life and in your experience. Throughout our practice today, we'll be opening the heart space to cultivate compassion for ourselves and others. So as you move through the poses, allow yourself to soften, to breathe deeply, and to embrace gratitude for the bonds that support and nurture you. This is your time here to connect, to go inward. As you connect here with this vibration of gratitude and loving kindness, we radiate this outwards with an open heart. If there's an intention that you would like to set for your practice today, you can think about setting that intention, just drawing awareness to the heart space. And when you're ready, we'll just walk the feet in, bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees fall open for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. You can take the blocks that you have next to your mat and place them underneath the thighs or the knees. We're just helping to support our bodies here. You can also let gravity draw the knees towards the earth. That's totally an option. Just thinking about maybe gently entering our practice today. So having some support as we begin here. And the hands can come to rest on the rib cage or at your sides. We're drawing our awareness to the heart space. And as we breathe here, following the rise and fall of the chest with each breath, reflecting on gratitude for the self, gratitude for the relationship that you have with yourself. Thinking about that, just reflecting without judgment here. We're just turning our gaze inwards, thinking about maybe how we nourish ourselves, what we do to care for ourselves throughout the day or in times where we need a little more nurturance. For the most part in this practice, I'll just be guiding you into the posture with some intention and guidance for breath. And then there'll be mostly silence. So just using that time to reflect. I'll go ahead and remove the blocks. Just pull the knees in towards the body. Maybe give a little squeeze here. Little rock side to side. And we'll release and come on to the belly. So rolling over, bringing the belly to the mat. We'll find Sphinx pose. You'll have the elbows stacked under the shoulders, and forearms pressed into the mat here. You can bring the arms out towards the edges of the mat if it's a little too intense for the lower back. And at any time, feel free to just come all the way down to the mat if you need to release the pose. So we have our hips and our legs supported here, and we're really pressing through the forearms and thinking about rising out or away from the earth, drawing the shoulder blades together and opening the heart center. And your gaze can come between your hands, forward a little bit, even skyward, or you can let the head hang heavy. There's lots of options here, so just choose what feels natural to you. And as we breathe here into the heart space, we're just thinking about softening this area and really connecting with our sense of compassion. This can be towards others or towards yourself. What are the ways that you cultivate compassion for others or yourself? And exhale, slowly lower down all the way to the mat, just crossing the forearms and resting your forehead if you'd like. Just taking about 3 to 5 breaths here, just to pause and release the lower back. Just let the spine be straight here. And then we'll move into a variation of thread the needle from Sphinx pose. So you may want to bring your blanket or your block to the top of your mat. We'll reach the right or left hand out, press into the mat, creating some space here to thread that right arm through. And then we'll come just to rest on the right shoulder and bring the head to a block if you'd like, or to a blanket folded up. Just finding somewhere to be comfortable here where you feel supported with your props.
And here we're just allowing that shoulder to melt towards the mat and to release any tension here in our shoulders. We'll be doing this pose on both sides of the body. So maybe just noticing any sensations here that you're feeling and thinking about how we form connections with others, with nature, the world around us. Just reflecting on those connections. And draw the left hand under the left shoulder, pressing into the mat. Gently unwinding and coming back through center and just pausing before moving to the opposite side. And when you're ready, bringing the right hand to the mat, pressing into the mat, and threading the left arm through, coming to rest on the left shoulder. Making any adjustments with props as needed. And then finding stillness here. Breathing into the back side of the heart center and the release on the left shoulder. Allowing any tension to melt away. And bring the right hand under the right shoulder, pressing into the mat and unwinding. Just pause with our spine straight for a moment. And placing both hands under the shoulders, Coast back and find tabletop. You may want to bring your blanket to the mat here just to support the knees as a little cushion. In tabletop, our knees are stacked under our hips and wrists stacked under the shoulders. Tops of the feet pressed into the mat. We'll move through some cat-cows. Inhaling, dropping the belly, heart center comes forward, gaze rises. Exhale, press through the hands, tuck the tailbone, rounding the spine, gaze comes towards the navel. Inhaling, dropping the belly, coming into cow, drawing the shoulder blades together, heart center forward. Exhaling, rounding the spine, pressing into the earth and creating space in the back side of the heart center. And just move through these at your own pace, just for the next couple of minutes, connecting our breath with our movement. So whatever movements you choose to take here, maybe you want to take some hip circles or feel into the shoulders. Just flowing freely here through cat-cows or taking any movements that feel good to your body. Just a moment of connection. Just tuning in, asking your body, what it needs today. Where am I feeling tightness, tension? Where am I feeling ease? And just listening to those little messages. Coming back through tabletop, we'll take a wide-legged child's pose. So bring the toes together, the big toes together, and walk the knees towards the edges of the mat. Sending the hips back towards the heels, sinking down. You can bring a bolster between the knees for support as well. If there's a little bit of space there and you'd like some extra support, you can place blocks under the bolster too. Bringing it up a little higher. You want to feel supported and held here. We're breathing deeply into the belly and focusing on opening the heart center towards the earth beneath us. Maybe using this time just to check back in with your intention, to breathe into the belly and the heart space. Allow it to soften and release. If there's anything weighing heavy on you here, maybe think about sending that towards the earth beneath you. Bring the gaze towards the fingertips. Walk the hands back. Bringing the head up last. And just pausing at the top here. Our next posture is supported fish. So we're going to bring our blocks, or maybe you want to use a bolster. There's a couple of options here. One block is going to go between the shoulder blades, and then the other one's going to be at the top of your mat to support your head. So you can have it up higher, or you can have it down on a lower setting, allowing the throat to open a little more. If you're using a bolster, you can just bring the bolster to your mat in the middle, and then place your hips at the bolster and lay down, resting here. The bolster is a little more supportive, so keep that in mind. A little more stable. If you opt for the blocks, just take your time to find the right position for those. And the legs can be bent here, knees bent, feet near the hips, or you can bring the legs out long. You can even take that butterfly position with the soles of the feet together. Play around with what feels comfortable here. And bringing the arms out to a T. Opening up the heart center. As we focus on this space, maybe imagining the gratitude that you're feeling, the gratitude we're cultivating here, being shared with the world around you and just radiating outwards. Maybe envisioning this as a warm light, being centered at the heart and shining outwards. Just breathing into this space, finding some stillness. Tuck the chin in towards the chest, gently coming up and releasing any props that you're using, moving them to the side. And then laying back down on the mat. And we'll just draw the knees in towards the body, grabbing on wherever you can and just giving a little rock. You may want to take a happy baby here, reaching through and grabbing onto the outsides of the feet or to the back of the thighs, and just drawing the knees down towards the earth. Stretching through the hips. And we'll drop the feet back down to the mat, knees bent. And take some windshield wipers with the knees just rocking side to side here, releasing the hips. And walking the feet out towards the edges of the mat, just let the knees fall in towards each other. Taking a few breaths here. We'll walk the feet back in. Press through the soles of the feet, lifting the hips and shifting them over to the left. Draw the knees in a little and come into a twist, letting them fall to the right. You can use blocks here or your bolster or blanket if you'd like to have some support between the knees, or maybe under that right leg just to lessen that twist a little. Just find what's comfortable to you. You may need to make adjustments to the hips. And bring the arms out to a T and draw the gaze over the left fingertips. And as we're breathing here, just thinking about releasing any tension from the body. Each exhale, just inviting that release. As we breathe into the belly, letting go of any tightness here. On your next inhale, gently draw the knees back through center, releasing any props, shifting the hips back through center. And there's an option to pull the knees in, or maybe you want to take a stretch, lengthening the legs and reaching the arms up overhead, stretching from the fingertips to the toes. We're moving into the opposite side, walking the feet back in, pressing through the soles of the feet, lifting the hips and shifting them over to the right. Let the knees fall to the left and make any adjustments that you need here. Bring the arms out to a T and draw your gaze over your right fingertips. Just noticing here if anything feels different on this side. Not judging or attaching stories, just noticing the differences from one side to the other. And inhale, draw the knees back through center. And shift the hips. Take any final postures that feel good to you before coming into Shavasana. You can take whatever variation of Shavasana that you'd like, knees bent, butterfly, or having the legs out long. Wherever you are, just take up some space on your mat. Feeling supported here, letting go of any control over our breath, letting it come back to a natural rhythm. And once you find where you would like to be, beginning to let go of the practice today,
anything that did or didn't happen as expected. Just inviting it to be perfect as it is. If you'd like to come back to the intention that you set at the beginning of practice, you can do that too. And if you lost it along the way, that's okay. Giving our bodies a moment to rest, to integrate all of the work that you've done today. Begin to deepen your breathing. Make gentle movements with the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, slowly awakening back into the space. Take as much time as you need before coming to a seated position as we close our practice. And taking a moment here, hands at heart center, either prayer pose or just bringing the hands to the heart space. And just thanking ourselves for carving out this time to come to your mat, to connect and practice, to cultivate gratitude for our connections with others, ourselves, and the worlds around us. grateful for bodies that can move through this practice in any way, for people to practice with, and a space to practice it. Thank you, thank you, thank